Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the first live talk show event of Art on Fire. This is a podcast idea that this is the 10th recording that we're actually doing at the moment. And all the guests have been guests that are, I guess, people who run events, run festivals, are burners, are artists, produce sculptural works, and I'm really wanting to collect as many people as possible, or have as many people as possible from around Australia and around the world who are into creating those kinds of things as guests on the show, for us as a way to all stay connected through it. The program, the name Art on Fire just came at random, and I thought it was a really cool name. And after working with that name for a little while, I started thinking about the Eclipse event, and the Eclipse, I think, is going to be the ultimate piece of art on fire that's going to happen, and that's happening in April of 2023. So I'm thinking of having a lot of focus on this show about the creation of that event. So I would like to be, I'd like to be meeting with the other, with anyone who's going to have any part in putting that event together from around the world to understand like what kind of vision they're wanting to bring to it. I'm also wanting to meet with like traditional landowners, the people from Exmouth, local councils, to understand like what their visions are for that kind of event as well, so I can kind of document the creation of the process as it goes through. A couple of fun things about eclipses to know is that the one in Exmouth is happening on April 20 of 2023, so just a couple of weeks after Blazing Swan. Then there's not another eclipse until 2024, and that's going across the USA. And then the eclipse after that will be in 2026 in Spain. So it only happens once every 1 to 2 years, roughly speaking, and it just happens at a random part of the globe at any given time based on when the sun and the moon and the earth are in that perfect alignment. The eclipse itself usually lasts for about like 62 seconds, but in a total eclipse, you have like a complete pitch blackout, like just everything goes dark and the stars will come out. The last eclipse that was a big festival-y one was the one that was in Oregon, and you had 14 of the biggest festival organizers working from around the globe working together to create that event, including Symbiosis, which James, who's here tonight, has been part of creating that event at one part in the past, and Rainbow Serpent, an Australian event. So you got these big 14 events, 14 festivals that put that one together. If you are interested in going to the Exmouth Eclipse, cool thing about it is that there's only about a 3.9% chance of rain. So the chance of actually seeing the eclipse is quite good. So 3.9 chances basically means that it'll rain one day in April. So our chance of it not raining during the eclipse is quite high. And it's going to be beautiful weather. The weather's going to be 20 to 33 degrees all through April as well. So watching the eclipse in Exmouth will be a really cool spot. And the other fun fact that I like about that eclipse as well is it was 100 years ago in 1922 that Einstein sent some photographers to Western Australia, and they landed in Wallal, which is very close to Exmouth, to take pictures of the eclipse events that happened at that moment in time in order to find the evidence that he needed for his theory of relativity. So it is an event that attracts people from all over the world. I guess we're going to have like somewhere between 300,000 and 300,000 people go out there for the event. And I think the cool thing about the event is everyone's going to come. You're going to have like astrologers, you're going to have astronomers, you're going to have physicists, you're going to have people who just love to party and take a bunch of acid. You're going to have like the spiritual crowd. The Dalai Lama will probably send his people. You know, there's going to be all kinds of cool cats from around the world coming to it. And I guess it's a really cool opportunity for all of those people to come together for a really cool natural phenomena. So thanks to everyone who came early. We're just welcoming the letter A into the room as well. Welcome, letter A, whoever you are. I do want to try and make this a participatory talk show as well. So let's have a little play and just use our keyboards. If everyone can hear me, can you just answer whether you can hear me on your keyboard? Just type in on your keyboard a little comment thing So I've got from Stefan. I've got the yas in the drag queen response, which is perfect for Steffi. Thanks to Alex for the hello. Yep. So we've got Alex here as well. Okay, Alex was the letter A. Fuck you, Bern. Fuck you, Kristen. Cool. Well, it looks like our chat's working. I don't actually even know how to read the chat yet, so maybe I should also chat something too. Shit. I don't know how to chat. You guys are doing a good job of chatting. I can read them. That's the important point. Oh, there it is. Yeah, cool. Okay, I can see everyone's chat. G'day, Nish. Thanks for the chat there as well. Cool. I mentioned already to all the people who arrived early, but Kristen in the group who's organising an Easter event, Darkan, or the Road to Darkan. Is that how I pronounce the town correctly? Darkan. Excuse me. The Road to Darkan. That's happening this weekend. It's got quite a few blaze camps involved in it, including a Aruma and the pool room and Fire Tribe with Hana Priest is going to be down there, and Intelligent Deviants, Camp Loveliness. So that's a big thing that's happening this weekend, which is pretty cool. So this is this is a channel for people who want to see more kinds of events like that. They want to see more burn style events going on. So I'm curious for the people in here. I'm wondering if you are the people who want to be participating in more of those events, if you are the kind of people who'd be interested in going to an Eclipse event, going to go check that out. And if you'd like to work out how to do the Eclipse event in a cool, affordable, fun way as well. So I'm hoping that the people who are tuning into this and tuning into this live and future recording are the people interested in those kinds of things. I'm also wanting to create this podcast to talk about the different way that artists prosper in this space as well. There were different ways that they make things work. So I've got lined up coming up on some shows, a guy who organizes and builds theme parks. I've got the designer of the Wellington Square Playground. So it's a $17.5 million playground. I'm also meeting the CEO of Fringe. So I'm really interested in understanding the crossover between the festival space and the people who make careers for themselves in this space, to understand how this all works. And I kind of want to document that process in this podcast a lot. So, but this was an idea that kind of came to me randomly. When it came to me, I started chatting with Shari about it. So I'm just going to invite Shari on. So Shari was episode number 1.
Hello.
Yeah. So here's our little crew. They're all on mute at the moment. We can't unmute them.
Hi, everyone.
We've got the power. They've got some power as well. So Shari and I were chatting about this possible idea, and
so Joe came home one evening and was talking a little bit about some ideas that he's had to create a podcast, and his interest in learning more about different artists and what inspires them. And I immediately was just in love with the concept, particularly with, our involvement in the Blaze community. There are so many amazing humans who are doing so many different things. And not only is it a way that we get to learn more about the different individuals who are doing different things, and, perhaps you've seen certain pieces of art from them before, but there's a lot to them that you don't know about, different art that they're creating outside of where you know them, or
how they even live.
Yeah, how they even live.
What are you even doing when you're not on the burn?
And I think that is, as a creative myself, perhaps at different stages to a lot of other people, it's really inspiring to hear about, how people have gotten to where they've got, but not only that, but kind of learn a bit more about them on a personal level, because, there are a lot of faces that you'll recognize from around the place, or, that you've heard of before, but perhaps you don't know them on that more personal level. And I just thought it was a really fantastic idea to be able to kind of get to know everyone a little bit better, and for me, it was another way that I could also feel inspired to continue to create things myself. So yeah, I thought it was a fabulous idea, and I'm really excited to be here.
Which was the resonance that I needed to kick forward this fun project and get it ready to episode 10 and have a bunch of crazy cool conversations that I can share with everyone. So yeah. The main place that I'm going to be sharing things is on the Patreon website. One, because I can share a lot of content on there for free. Sorry, Steffi, I've only just seen your note about definitely keen on the Exmouth Eclipse event. Thank you for sharing that. That will be really cool. Everyone, please keep chatting on there. I'll try and read it a little bit better. But yeah, I'm going to be sharing more of this content on Patreon because one, as a content creator, I can put things on there for free, which is really handy. But two, I'm also really, really wanting to use the Patreon space as a way to create and get this project supported so that I can continue to produce this kind of content and produce more of it. I'm hoping at the very minimum that for people who come in on the Patreon channel, that they'll all work out different ways to get really good value experience at the Exmouth Eclipse event, because I'm hoping to organize, interview all the organizers of the event. And so by interviewing all the organizers of the event, at the very minimum, I want to see if the people who support on Patreon will be able to attend the event for cheaper, or be able to participate more, or do something cooler, or have a space at it, or something else. That's kind of my current first, at least easy thing that I imagine I would be able to give anyone who supported the creation of this program. This program, the tagline at the moment that I'm working with is follow inspiration. So it's all about people who are doing those kind of crazy things out there, and the burn community is so good for that, because people are doing like crazy silly things out in that space. All right, I would now like to invite, so this another thing for this is all about this podcast is all about developing community, developing capabilities, and developing creativity. And so with that, I would like to invite Pasan to come join us on the couch too. Did I get that order correctly? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I don't want to invite Pasan. I want to invite Hana Priest. I missed the writing. Yeah, she can squeeze in over here. Yeah. Yeah, I want to be sandwiched in with the girls. So yeah, welcome.
Hi.
So you can say hello to our live audience.
Hello live audience.
I hope that in the recording of this that we don't just see Kristen's face the whole time. You're a good-looking face, but yeah. Thanks, Hana. Thanks for coming down. Thanks for being in one of the episodes as well.
My pleasure.
It was really nice to meet you.
I think your dog's taken a shine to me.
Yeah, takes a shine to all good humans. Friendly dude. So I guess it'd be fun to chat about where your creative ideas come from, what you're doing with your fire, how you keep finding new ways to be creative in your fire world.
Yeah, well, I mean, fire, as I mentioned earlier when we were having just a little kind of side chat, fire is fire. So whether it's a stick on fire or a thing, like whatever it is that's on fire, it's still fire. So trying to make that interesting and creative and engaging is I guess the art form side of it. I guess the creativity comes from people making specific requests where they're like, oh, we want to burn this thing, or we want to create this thing. But then sometimes I find for my personal performances, the creativity comes from, you hear a really good like music track, or you find like a particular prop. It can be something as simple as like, you get a costume from an op shop and you're like, oh, this costume says this, and it needs to be used in this way and performed in this way. And so you start to create like a whole little act in your mind around that particular costume or the particular hat or the particular prop or whatever it is. So I find creativity can come from lots of places. It can come from, I don't know, stuff that you've seen where you think, oh, I like that, but it would be better if we did this and that or the other thing to it, and then it would be even cooler. Or sometimes a piece of music or a prop or whatever just kind of speaks to you, and you're like, this is what needs to happen to you to make this happen. And I think that's kind of the thing with being an artist, is you see the potential in something that is potentially like benign that other people would look at and be like, whatever. You look at that and you go, but this could be this if I just did this to it, that to it, you know. And I think that's where most art comes from, is like you see something and you think, oh, I could build on that and create this other thing out of it. Or you see just the potential in something that's kind of a potentially benign thing to others. But you're like, oh, if I just add some glitter and a tune and I dance, it'll be amazing.
My mind's actually trapped on a different fire conversation at the moment.
Yeah.
That was a pre-prepared question. Are you watching the F1 series on Netflix?
Formula One.
Yeah, the series. Yeah.
No.
Drive to Survive. Anyone watching the Drive?
Do I look like that sort of person?
And anyone watching the Drive to Survive series on F1 on Netflix? Give us a wave. No.
Are any of the cars on fire?
Yes. Yeah.
Are they? Okay.
Fucking the last episode that I watched, one of the cars in the F1 series just like split in half, and this driver is named someone Grosjean. He was just sitting in a just giant ball of flame for about like 4 or 5 minutes in a big fire suit before he pulled himself out of his flame suit. It was really, really, really cool.
I'm not sure that's how he would have described it.
Well, definitely didn't describe it that way, but also like managed to come out of it completely safe because of the suits that they wear, where they can essentially be standing in a giant pile of petrol on fire and be safe. So I'm gonna segue it onto safety. And you were just sharing with us beforehand that you were just in an event that was over the top with its safety this weekend, where they were like had fire wardens everywhere just to watch you do fire point. So people can do all kinds of levels of crazy and safety, to like crazy too safe to crazy too dangerous. I guess fire's like such an unknown that people don't know how to respond to it.
Well, I think the funny thing is, it's like fire isn't an unknown. Fire is a known. If you understand fire and you understand the weather conditions, you understand the air temperature, the wind conditions, how much dry flammable tinder and stuff is around, you can predict what fire is going to do. But it requires you to understand fire in order to be able to predict what it's going to do. And for most people, they don't understand fire. So they think if there is an open flame anywhere, everything is going to burst into flames and we're all going to die. So that's when people start to put in crazy safety things, because they're like, oh, we have to hose everything down and move everything away and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I'm just striking a match. It's okay. Like, so it's, yeah, I mean, the fire restrictions we have, what you were talking about, were put in by DFAS, and they kind of, if you do safety at this level and the danger level is here, then you're guaranteed to be safe. And I think that's kind of what they work
balancing it.
Well, it's not balanced, because it's like this level of danger, this needs this level of safety.
So it's overkill.
But if you do safety here at overkill level, then you're guaranteed to have nothing go wrong. Because you totally overkilled the safety. So what we had at the event I was just at was just DFAS going, okay, we understand you're doing this, but if we put safety up here, then we're guaranteed to be safe. You know, but for where I would have pitched safety, I would have been like, okay, we're doing this. This is the level of safety that we need to make that safe.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, most people don't understand fire, and so they just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I guess when the safety's like that far over the top, it almost feels like you're at the zoo and the crocodile is like behind like 3 planes of glass.
Yeah, it gets a bit ridiculous, where you're just like, oh, the thing might hurt us, so let's go, a kilometre away from it, build a blast shield, wear a hazmat so we can bury ourselves 10 metres underground.
That's so fun.
It's like, it's not at that level of danger.
So it just comes from a level of understanding within what it is you're playing with.
Yeah. Exactly. And with understand, because fear is the thing that creates kind of the overkill, because you don't understand what you're dealing with. So you kind of go, okay, well, I'm not sure what can happen. So if we do safety up here, then we'll be fine. Whereas if you understand what's going to happen and the danger level is here, you can build safety here and you're still going to be safe. You don't need safety here. you know, and so that's kind of, so like fire safety education is really important because most people don't understand fire. They don't know how it works, how it moves, what it's going to do. So they do safety up here and then it's not fun. You know? And it's balancing the fun and danger with the safety stuff to kind of make that work.
And I guess my level of understanding with fire kind of sits at like, I know how to light a fire or, you know, create a great campfire, but I don't really know how to play with fire and do all the other things. And so my concept of how to contain that would be like, I'm not quite sure. So.
But that's also what makes fire fun and exciting to have at events, because most people think, oh my God, I'm going to die. Everything's going to burn down. It's so exciting, you know, but you're watching somebody else deal with it. And so you're feeling the danger and the excitement, but you're also thinking, well, it's a legitimate event that I paid money to come to. So there must be a certain level of safety. So I'm okay, but it's exciting, but I think I'm okay, you know, and there's that thing kind of going on for people. So like if you over safety it removes that excitement of the fire because it's just like, but now I'm 500 meters away from the fire behind a blast shield. Well, this isn't exciting anymore. I'm too safe, you know.
Controversialist topic for, hey, Owen's joining us. Controversialist topic for fire safety. There was, and actually maybe Pasan, maybe you want to join us on the couch for this one, and then I can lead into your question for this. So we've got Pasan coming to sit down as well. But I had a moment at Blaze. All right, well, yes, Pasan.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah. I want to ask one more fire safety question. I thought I'd bring you onto the couch just as in your role of Blaze.
Yes, me and Hana had some very fun times.
Oh my God! So
Blaze and fire
in the 2019 effigy burn. 2019 effigy burn. I think it was maybe the year before where that incident happened at Burning Man. Right. So there was an incident there, and now there was a lot of concern and fear about what was going on in the fire space.
I was actually at that Burning Man when it happened.
I was too.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so that thing happened, and I remember like the fear was then spread because something unwanted happened in a really bad way, and then now I was at Blazing Swan, and I kind of knew about it, but I wasn't at the event, and like there was a lot of policing going on as a response to that, where like, and I understand that. And first you have your fire performers who are doing the fire performance, and somehow like fire performers, they're like fucking guards anyway. You're not going to get past them, right? Like they're there with weapons. They're spinning things around. Like they hold space. Like a fire performer like makes this massive space that they hold around them. And that's really cool. But then the fire performers stopped, and I think the Rangers came on, and I was standing at the sideline. And I think the Rangers were probably instructed to like make everyone sit down, but because I was standing, the guy was concerned because of other things that go on. I don't have any questions. I'm just like set us up for this like intense problem where it's just like, all right, you've got like live fire going on, and something bad happened in a genuinely bad way. But it's not actually dangerous, and it's like what you were talking about, but by putting people 500 meters over that way and behind a barricade and sitting down and chained to the ground, so the thing is,
people choose to engage with danger sometimes, and that's where the problem is. So you can make the situation, you can set your fire up safely, you can set your safety perimeters and all that stuff, and it is safe. As in, if you stay behind the perimeter and do what you're told, you are safe. And everybody at the event is safe. But sometimes people choose to engage with danger. They want to run past all the safety, and they want to be in the danger zone.
Well, that wasn't even danger. That was literally a pretty wild thought that person had. They weren't even taking a risk, from what I understand. That was a
but in general, perhaps.
Yeah.
So we had.
There's also like safety precautions for that extreme scenarios where someone does want to choose to go and run towards a fire, and
it's hardcore.
And in the end of the day, like for example, we have the circle of fire performers, and they've got the circle of rangers, and they basically are there to instruct the crowd to stay seated and not actually jump and run. So that way, you already have that level of protection where as soon as someone stands up, then something's about to happen.
Yeah.
And then they know, oh, someone stood up, and now we got to protect that.
Yeah, that's why the rangers actually encourage people to sit down.
Yeah.
Because have you ever tried, like at a festival or an event, walking through sitting people that are densely sitting?
Yeah.
It's really hard to get through.
Yeah.
So if you've got your first sort of 5 rows or whatever of people sitting, it's hard to get through that. And if somebody's standing in that, they're easy to see. Yeah. But you have like your rangers, you have your perimeter of fireys, and then you have your fireys in like the has.
It was just, I guess it was sad because it was like a tough, creepy situation. Like something really, really bad happened. And then now, as a response to the really bad thing that happened, we're then like now really anxious that maybe everyone's possibly going to decide to do a really awful thing, which is, you know.
But we were with Blaze at that point from the very first year, because the very first year with the temple that we had, we didn't have all the safety stuff in place that we have now. The first year was just like, we're doing our best, throwing it together with a skeleton crew. We had a beautiful temple built, but once that temple was lit, we did have rangers along the perimeter, but we didn't have a very deep perimeter. And what we had was like a guy try and run into the temple space. And literally one of our guys hip and shouldered him, like literally rugby tackled him to the ground, hip and shouldered him down, and stopped him from running into the temple. And we found out later on that that person had whatever drugs he'd had, but his brother had died in a fire. And in that moment, he wanted to be with his brother. Whatever the drugs he had, he wanted to engage with that and be with his brother and be a part of that. So in his mind, it made logical sense.
Oh, yeah, but to the organisers' minds.
And
like, what are you doing?
Obviously, to the organisers, we don't want anyone hurting themselves. But I kind of, I guess, have an empathy towards people that want to engage in dangerous situations, because sometimes there is in their minds logic and reason behind it, but it's sometimes because of drugs or alcohol or whatever they're doing. So it's kind of, we need to sometimes protect people from themselves, you know, and being like, we get that you want to engage in this way, you want to be a part of this, but it will actually kill you if you do. Yeah. So that's why we have this safety stuff in place. It's because we care about you, we love you, we're a community, we're trying to look after each other, and this is how we do that.
But I guess that's another really awesome reason why we can, let's say, watch you do performances where, because you understand fire, you engage with fire, so you're kind of dancing on that, what we could consider that danger line. So then therefore, through you and watching you perform, we can then kind of dance in that danger or, you know, get to learn or engage something a little more.
And we teach people as well. So it's like, if you want to engage with fire and be close to fire and around fire, but also be safe, then come and learn from us. We will teach you how to do that safely. You don't need to go running into open flames to engage with the fire.
Yeah,
be part of it. You know, there's a beautiful, creative way to do that. Yeah, there's kind of creative, beautiful ways to do that, and there's destructive, damaging ways to do that. It's kind of, you know.
And sometimes in the end of the day, like, you know, bad things do happen, like even with all the safety procedures, like somehow, like, you know, the guy at Burning Man, he would have gone through the lay of rangers, then the fire.
They would have had heaps of controls as well.
And then beyond that, you have this group of people called the Sandmen, who their specific job is to crash tackle anyone who gets further than that.
Oh, so they already had that.
They already had that.
And they have those like silver suits on, so they can be bright in the flames kind of thing.
Yeah. And then the job of the outer circle is to shine a torch at whoever tries to run in. And then that way the person, all these torches are on them, they're illuminated, and then the Sandman just comes out and just tackles them. And somehow he dodged all of that, dodged backwards, and then got hit.
And that's the thing, like, it's you can't, like, if people are really determined and they want to do the thing, they will find a way to do the thing. It's like saying to your kid, no, you can't go out drinking because you're only 16. And it's like, if you're 16 and you want to go out drinking, you will find a way to go out drinking. Like, doesn't matter what your parents say or what curfews they put in place or whatever, like, you will find a way. And it's the same thing. If people want to, you know, do the dangerous stuff, they will find a way. So,
cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's leave the fires behind.
You brought it up.
There's been a lot of fires. Yeah.
I thought it was a fun one. I remember. Pasan, thank you for coming to join the couch again, and thank you for doing an episode.
Thanks for having me again.
Thanks
for that delicious chicken.
Oh, my pleasure. It's the one day before the start of the actual blaze. You're feeling pretty chill now that you're not running a 4,000 person festival in a pandemic.
Definitely. I'm feeling very chill in that department. I even forgot it was actually going to be
tomorrow.
Yeah. I was just like that much disconnected from it all. Like,
you should be on site.
Yeah.
Setting things up.
Yeah, I'm on site, stressing out, and and there's none of that now.
Yeah. Did you take a whole bunch of time off work?
I did, and then I cancelled it.
So you're putting your leave back in the bank.
Putting my leave back in the bank, so I can hopefully go on holiday after all of this is done and dusted. Yeah. So
in Blaze and outside of Blaze, what's been your best accomplishment or your favorite accomplishment?
Accomplishment, I'd say for me in terms of accomplishment, it would be, well, I don't know whether this exactly you'd call it an accomplishment, but my tribe community, all the networks that I've built up over the years, and the people that are in my life is my proudest thing. Because it's just one of those things that, doing things or getting an object is, one thing that you to be proud of. But once you have all these people around you that can do amazing things and co-create amazing experiences with you, that's not only, fulfilling to yourself, but fulfilling to them and the community as well. And I'd say the years that I spent, just going to events, participation, participation is one of our principles in Blaze as well. Being a part of the community, and the more you become a part of the community, the more you get involved and the more you connect to other people who do amazing things. And even though that was never really my intention to, go out and, connect to people and then create a network so that I can one day, run Blaze or something, that never really was something in my mind. But just naturally, you have this inner fire in you to actually go out and experience.
Don't use the word fire.
and really be a part of something fun, something creative, something crazy. And over time, you just naturally tend to find people who are interested in the same things. And later on, when, circumstances in life came up that, I ended up being a part of creating a lot of amazing projects in the community. Then those people are also there to help, and and then finding a way to inspire them to also create things that really make a difference to their own community. So everyone wins type situation. So I think that whole sort of network of creation and creativity is my proudest achievement.
It's that gift of giving, isn't it? Where you give and people receive, and they love what you've created. And so you're like, I want to give more.
Yes.
I want to help other people give. And how much can we give? And then when other people see you giving, then they're like, oh, well, I want to give too. What can I give? What are my gifts? And so you create this community of people who want to gift and give, because giving feels so good. And that kind of grows that community of people who want to share and give and create.
Exactly. Yeah. It's such a gifting and interconnected community we live in, for sure.
Yeah. Sweet. On community things, I think maybe we should invite, it's probably the time to invite Pete to the couch as well.
We'll do a little tag.
You're going to tag out?
Shall I
there's enough room to squeeze on in.
Yeah, sweet. Squeeze on in.
There's enough room. We can all fit.
Oh, okay.
We can all fit.
We can all fit.
Yeah, mate. There you go.
Tetris.
Feels good.
Feeling good? What are we up to?
Everyone for sticking in.
Yeah.
So stoked to be sharing this with you all.
Yeah.
This journey that Joseph is on.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you. And it's fun. It's fun to be able to chat like this as well. This weird format.
Wait till James comes on as well.
So just gonna lie across the top. We were talking community, and that was a perfect cue for you, because you're a community builder and a person who loves to build community. And I guess all of us here are connected around community that has something to do with art. Care to lean into that? What do you reckon art's role is in building communities?
I think art plays a vital role in galvanizing stories. You know, what is our identity? What role do we play in society? Where are we going? Where are we heading? What could be on this horizon? And one of the beautiful things about art is it gets to contextualize and like paint a picture in people's minds of what could be a reality. And it's kind of like symbology. You know, I see art as these symbols that people can unite around, and the more clearly we can articulate those visions for the new world, or the more beautiful world our hearts know is possible, the cleaner and clearer tribal cohesion can become. And I think I love that about Blazing Swan. You know, you've got the principles, and I think that's such an important part. And even the symbology that represents each of the principles all play such an integral role in building community and culture. And they all weave themselves in together beautifully. And that's something I'm really passionate about doing. And I see as a vital role, especially right now in terms of where we're at in the world. There is a lot of things that could be improved. And I feel like art, it's time for the artists and the creatives to step forward and paint these pictures and help articulate the more beautiful world the heart knows possible.
All right, God, I hope that the artists and creatives step forward, because if we keep running on the logical mind, we're just going to go down a path that is just going to be cold and awful and very difficult. When you're talking symbology, are you talking about literally about the symbols to represent the values, which I think are all made by Wick, which are super wicked to.
That's incredible.
Yeah, they're so fun to stare at. To actually be like, how does that value match that squiggle?
And the fact that it's used internationally as well, like the symbols, and like, you know, it all started with Wick's idea to create the symbols around it.
Something I want to add as well is the breadth of what art actually is. What does it mean to tell a new story? I think if you can use so many different forms of connecting with your skills and abilities to tell a new story. You can use architecture, you can use engineering to tell a new story, to show a new possibility. And for me, that's part of art as well. I think it's really important to continue to broaden our perspective on what art actually is, and help all citizens actually start to identify as the artists themselves. We are all creators. We are all capable of creating, and we need everyone to be creating. We all have a unique position and perspective that has brought us here into this moment, that allows us to see the world from a unique place. That is a valuable part that it needs to be brought forward beyond just your own mind, but out into the world to help create clarity for a new world. So I'd like to continue to broaden that definition of art.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, mate. Thank you. All right, we've just got James to add to the couch, but I think James is sitting outside, so maybe we'll give him a little bit of a wave, and we can throw him on here as well.
Yeah, throw a rock at the glass.
Another thing I want to say just about you bringing up more about like people realizing the creativity and art that they have within themselves, and I think that's kind of like why this podcast is such a great idea, because, you know, the more that we kind of talk amongst each other about the different kinds of art that we're creating, the more ideas that we have to do more and, you know, collaborate with one another, and it has amazing potential.
Power of story. And Joseph is on a hunt to find more people out there who are doing beautiful things.
Some good stories.
So if you know anyone that you think could connect with Joseph,
let's get some good stories going on. I'm going to show off my latest art piece to everyone as well. This is a homebrew beer that I've made, and this is my buddy Joel that I commissioned an artist to draw a caricature of him. Just gave some instructions. That's his little vehicle that he fangs around in, and his dreadlocks hanging out the back. And now I've made him beer bottle logos. That's my latest creative project. They just arrived today. It's pretty cool. Hey James, howdy. Welcome to the couch.
Nice and slow.
Say hi to the crew on the screen.
What's up, guys?
What are you doing for Easter?
I am packing sea containers.
Packing sea containers.
Yeah.
Just working hard. We're getting ready for the next festival.
Pretty much. So we're doing Out of the Woods Festival.
Yeah.
Just down on Boston foreshore.
Yeah.
So they agreed to throw me a dumb amount of money to bring all my toys down there.
Good. Yeah.
So it's finally.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the saloon down and decorate the food area and make a little throne and tables and chairs and whatnot. No dead things, no mannequins, no dead things.
No, they don't want the creepy things. They just want the woodwork.
Just the pretty wood bits.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're packing cans, doing that.
Yeah. Who's we? Who's you?
It's just me.
I refer to myself as a plural.
It's that optimism that song will help. But no, I'm just going to say everything's by myself.
Yeah, it's full of sea containers.
Kind of,
yeah.
Yeah, no, so that's the next project.
Yeah.
I'm currently covered in dust because reasons. Which I think goes back to, I think we had a chat at one point when we had our little interview of like, how do you get involved in this kind of crap?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the answer is just be helpful and like prove your own usefulness. Because no one needs dead weight. Like if you're going to help, just fucking help. So the reason why I'm covered in dust at the moment is I've been building shit for the Amazing Race.
What, like the TV show?
Yeah, fuck yeah, the TV show.
Cool, congrats.
Yeah,
congrats.
So a person I was girl I worked with about a year ago, built some stuff, was rather helpful. And as TV people are, they generally get put in the shit and require an item the next day.
Yeah.
So I got hit up the other day.
So are you building things for like challenges or for games?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Stuff? Yeah.
So I've just been building.
Well, so is it coming to Perth, or they're just building the props?
No, they're filming in Fremantle Prison on Wednesday or Saturday.
You're allowed to say that.
Oh, fuck it.
James, this is gonna go wild in the world.
Don't tell anyone. It's a secret.
Yeah, but it's happening this week. So I've been building 3 puzzle box tables, which is where I'm covered in dust, and some stockades. You put your little head.
Oh yeah, well that's right up your alley.
Kind of, yeah.
Are you going to get to keep the stockades?
I'm gonna try buy them back. Yeah.
What are they going to do with them?
Not what I will.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been my bit for a bit.
Yeah, cool. Nice work.
Yeah.
Nice work. Congrats.
Yeah.
How far off is that before it's going to be on air? Is this like the Amazing Race?
I have no idea. Yeah, questionable timing, but yeah.
Yeah, if you work on a TV show and you need some like cool props, this is the man to get in touch with. This guy here. Yeah.
And if you want to set things on
we'll
fire,
work for money.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, James, and stoked to hear that you are stoked to hear that you've got some TV gigs. I think that was the intention that you've been setting for a little while, was to be working on the screen and creating props for people. So props.
Yeah. So far so good.
Yeah, props. Cool. Yeah. So just to wrap up, I kind of want to talk about a little bit about this project with Out on Fire. I'm just trying to read through my notes, and the first thing says, "Do not mention the podcast."
Don't mention the podcast.
I guess another reason the podcast is kind of and actually I also want to shout out for the couple of comments that came through. Kristen has also said that for the Eclipse Festival, he's already managed to book 30 spaces up somewhere in Yardie Creek. I was trying to book spaces, Kristen, and I couldn't find anything. I thought everything was banned from booking that far out in advance. So good work for being.
We're coming with you, Kristen.
Yeah.
Book that far. Steffi's also just screamed Pasanable at us. I'm not really sure what that means, but we've got Pasan here.
That was my 30th festival.
Yeah. I obviously wanted to hear more about that as a major accomplishment. So I'm wanting to, in this environment where we're living in, where it's harder and harder for us to actually all connect because there's all these weird things going on in the world. I am also wanting, as part of this podcast, to create other ways for people to connect, like is going on here right now.
in this live and virtual live at the same time modality. And I would love to be able to bring this to more and more people around all over Australia and the world, so that we can actually all hang out in this environment while we're working on creating other environments as well, and learning about the other things that are going on too. It's a channel that I kind of really want to have for people who are not just about going to festivals and getting plastered. It's you know, even though it's a really fun thing to do. I'm not looking for people to come on the show or tune into the show who just want to go to the next festival and get plastered. Not really just wanting for the people who want to just go and consume the things. I am looking to create an audience of listeners, of people who do actually want to have some active part in the creation and participation of that creation of events around Australia and the world, for people to be able to share a little bit about what's going on there, and for people to also be able to support other people that they recognize in their community to produce, I don't know, bigger things, or things that get shared with the broader and broader world as well. Because I feel like there's a lot of beautiful art forms that exist in some subculture communities that the rest of the world doesn't even have a freaking clue about. And so I would love to create content that helps promote that as well.
I got a question for the listeners. If you could bring any creative visionary onto this podcast for Joseph to interview,
thank you.
who would it be? Shoot for the sky. Share it in the comments below, and
or even if someone wants to just like take a speaker off mic right now and just say it as well. You're welcome to take it off. You're welcome to take yourself off mute, but you can also just like type it in the bottom. So we can just hang. We're pretty stubborn over here, so we're just going to hang out until there's someone says something outside of the couch. But we can probably start on the couch. Anyone on the couch would like to see someone on this kind of a show?
I want to see Kristen on this show.
I want to see Kristen on the show as well.
That's
pretty cool.
I want to see Kristen on the show.
I'll come on your show, but I'm not doing that silly high five crap.
Dave cried and do it either. And James fucking burped at me.
You can do like a special fuck the burn routine or something instead.
Well, we kind of missed the high five and had to do it twice anyway.
It hasn't actually worked once smoothly.
I was thinking you need to get some of those big big foam hands to take on there.
Oh yeah. So that might work for you.
Yeah, we can make that work, I think. Or some boxing gloves.
Kristen or anyone else, some thoughts on who might be a really cool person to have on this show?
Once you're finished with all the burner guys, like, because there's heaps over the States and stuff here. What was that guy's name, Hana, that came over that year? Halcyon?
Oh yeah, Halcyon.
He'd be fun to talk to.
Yeah.
Once you've burnt through a few of those guys, there's a whole bunch in the there's a lot of cool stuff going on in that wasteland community as well, who's made up of burners. And they just started a new event, which is like a cyberpunk themed thing on the same block of desert that the Wasteland show's on. So you check that one out; it's pretty cool.
Yeah, Halcyon.
Yeah.
Halcyon.
I'll get spellings of a few people
Yeah.
off air.
Kristen's, when's Pox Eclipse happening?
It's the end of October. So, like, we're going up to meet with the CEO up in Southern Cross on the 26th this month, just to firm it up. But yeah, it'll be a week out from the end of October.
So that's going to be our first like wasteland style festival.
Yeah, and I just came back from the Mad Max 2 Museum Silverton Collective show over in New South Wales, and there's about 8 of those crew coming across now as well for that. Steve Schulz is part of the Dogs of War over at Wasteland Weekend. He wants us to go over there with him next year, so hopefully we can make that happen as well. Really cool. You'd fucking rock it over there, Hannah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to plan for a group to go over, I think.
Yes. I'm in. As long as I can burn shit, I'm in.
Oh, I'm sure you can burn. Yeah. When they light up the front sign, they use flame projectors to do that as well. It's pretty loose over there, so yeah.
Yes, I'm in.
Cool. Cool. I'm gonna take us home. So I'm wanting to build a community on a platform called Patreon. Choosing Patreon as a platform for building this because it offers a lot of ways for me to connect, for us all to connect directly on that space without needing third-party sponsors or advertising or any of that other kind of nonsense. But I'm also wanting to make it a space where, as people come in to help create the show and participate in the creation of the show, as big things come through like the Eclipse Festival, that this will be the space where you will get the biggest and best knowledge on it, and also hopefully a whole bunch of ways to get involved and participate, and also find discounts and other ways to engage in the festival. So I'm going to put into the message box a link to my Patreon right now. My Patreon has 3 different channels. I'm going to have a channel at $40 a month, which is for organizers who actually just want to start working together, because I'm hoping to bring organizers in from around the world. But for people who want to just see more of this kind of content created, it's like a $5 a month thing. So Patreon is essentially, say, for people who don't know what it is, it's like subscribing to a magazine, but now you're subscribing to a podcast. You just like click on it, and then you've got your videos on there. You've got your just audio podcasts on there. You can take the audio and you can listen to it in your normal podcasting app. It's all on this one little platform. So I put that out there. So just going to say bye to Kristen. He's just tapped out. Anyway, he's off. So yeah, cool. So yeah, I'd love for you guys to click that link and just have a look at what's going on that page. It's nice and easy wherever you are. Just click that link in the last comment that's popped up on the side. And otherwise, thank you so much for coming to join us on episode number 1 of the live stream. Cool. Everyone want to give a wave goodbye, or one of those, Hana? Yeah, yeah. Wicked. Wow.